Good evening, everybody, with another edition of the Hindu Med EG dated 21st July 2023. The front page section has two broad news from Supreme Court. The first one regarding the Manipur imbroglio, you know it very well that Chief Justice of India took suo motu cognizance of a video that came on online. It became viral and it has related to molestation of two Kuki women in Manipur in the month of May. A fire had been also filed, but no arrest or something like that had been made. So CJI said when the hearing began in the bench, Attorney General and Solicitor General both were present, and CJI said that we give a little time to central government as well as the state government to act on this. It's a deeply disturbed thing. It's beyond humanity's understanding of a country where constitutional democracy operates. How could it happen? So you say that the first one is the SC deeply disturbed, orders central Manipur government to act. So it took a suo motu cognizance. That one is the part, and after that you know very well that our Prime Minister came out and condemned in unequivocal terms. Then another front page news that we go for is that, as we had said in the earlier news article, that bench led by CJI was thinking of sending it to a constitution bench. Already there is a constitution bench on abolition of Article 370 in Kashmir. That is they have a hearing on 2nd of August, upcoming August, 2nd of August. So Delhi government asked for its AM Singhvi, who was representing the Delhi government, asked for an early dates for the constitution bench, which was denied by the CJI, saying that already the preparations are on for the August 2 abolition of Article 370 related issues that the constitution bench is will be looking after. So here in this case also the Delhi ordinance that you know very well, Delhi Capital Territory ordinance that brought the government after Supreme Court's order of handling the civil matters to the elected government. Now again what happened that Lieutenant Governor after the ordinance has expelled number of employees on the grounds that their appointments were flimsy and they are party workers. Appearing for the central government, Harish Salve said that they are party workers and it's a wrong usage and things are going to be being tabled. So he has welcomed, basically Harish Salve has welcomed the bench decision to send this matter Delhi ordinance bill to constitution bench. Now in the spotlight section, that's the second page section, that is the spotlight section, we have a reporter of the Hindu has visited Chaudhary Devilal. You should be aware of Chaudhary Devilal is a very prominent politician from Haryana who formed the Indian National Lok Dal, and he became Deputy Prime Minister of India during the era of Vishwanath Pratap Singh. When Vishwanath Pratap Singh, BP Singh defeated Rajiv Gandhi government and came to power, Chaudhary Devilal was the Deputy Prime Minister. And his families have ruled, his sons Chautala and others have ruled Haryana for very long period, very influential family in Haryana there. So his legacy is being contested because all number of people are there who are proclaiming that he is the real inheritor of Chaudhary Devilal's area. So you should read this article, although it's a domestic issue, it's a political, but you get a lot of, because Haryana is very politically charged state, being close to Delhi. Parts of Haryana is in NCR and things like that. So next one we come for our editorial section. In And one news is that in today's newspaper was like Kachatibu Island. You should be knowing that Kachatibu Island is a dispute point, you could say, between state of Tamil Nadu and Sri Lankan government. State of Tamil Nadu means government of India. Basically, Indira Gandhi, when she was the prime minister, in a treaty she gave this Kachatibu, which was traditionally used by Indian Tamil fisher folks for their fishery purposes to Sri Lanka, and now Sri Lankan naval forces doesn't allow Tamil fishing communities to operate in that area, and there is a strong demand among the Tamils that Kachatibu Island should be taken back from Sri Lanka, and it is an Indian island. So next one is we are going for the editorial section. In editorial section, what we find that two minor or two major editorials we could say. So the minor editorials too, let's say a lot in a name. It's regarding the coming out of general election 2024. And you know that opposition parties have united. They had Patna inauguration, and then second meeting was in Bengaluru, and there they have come up with an acronym, India. Okay, so NDA versus India. Dear India is Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance. And so it's you could say the editorial goes on to say that the opposition parties have rightfully and very essential manner they have got an acronym India. That means they are clashing on the BJP right-wing party. The BJP is the most coveted agenda of nationalism. So on the charges of nationalism, both will who carries more the idea of India. When Sunil Khilnani wrote the idea of India, he never knew that his book will be such a reminder of the things to come in a democratic development process of India that is still going after 75 years of its independence in this Amrit Kal, which is being proclaimed by our Prime Minister to make into a Kartavya Kal, to let it go for further and making it a Vishwaguru. So you know it very well that this battle for general election 2024, battle for general election 2024 is in full swing, and opposition parties have come out with this 26 opposition parties are there, and they have coined an acronym called India, that is Indian National Developmental Inclusive Alliance, against the NDA alliance. So the same day, Prime Minister of India also called an NDA meet in Delhi, where it was 38 parties, regional parties, who participated in NDA rally. So watch out for this developing news. See whose Waterloo is awaiting 2024, because battle is very much fierce. It's one of the battle of Panipat that is being fought in Delhi Parliament, new Parliament building. Now, another news is regarding the, as we know that there is a bill coming in this session about National Research Foundation, National Research Foundation. That's based on the US Science Foundation, European Research Foundation. That government is coming out of 50,000 crore rupees for 5-year terms for promoting the research and development in the state universities, and making it promising, so that young minds should venture into it and go for the long-term Atmanirbhar Bharat. So what is the issue in that is that in that bill they say that out of the 50,000 crore, 36,000 crore will be taken from the corporate as their CSR. You know that corporate social responsibility, that there is a fund income tax relaxation is there on the CSR funding that the big companies do. So often these fundings are for the education, health, community, hygiene, these things are done. So government is expecting that money for the CSR will go into National Research Foundation, and thereby it will enable government. It is not known whether it will be something like levy sort of things will be implemented, and what will be the mode of taking the money from the private sector. It's a good initiative by the government of India to come out in a sort of public-private partnerships where the CSR money could be utilized for more better, attractive, long-term research and development goals. Now the two major articles of the editorials that we have, one is India's data protection law. you know that this we also is a we are looking into this matter regarding that digital data protection, that Digital Personal Data Protection Bill. It is coming in this monsoon session of the Parliament, wherein earlier in editorial pieces we had that RTI activists had said that certain definition of word personal will dilute the RTI itself. So personal digital data Digital Personal Data Protection Bill have another lacune according to this writer, who says that the protection is for the only personal data. What is being defined as a personal data, that will be protected under this bill. And basically it is majorly taken from European Union. European Union was the first body to come out with the Digital Personal Data Protection Bill. So, and India is now, it was in the process for 2-3 years, from 2018 itself it was going on, and finally hopefully we'll expect that in this session it will be passed and come into effect. So the writer says that personal data is of course going to be protected, but what will be of non-personal data that are being utilized by the corporate houses for their marketing and things like that. So as the subscriber has no control over his data, so the government should have a personal body to monitor things like that. So one body is like that, we call it Data Protection Board. The Data Protection Board will be there. So the writer says that Data Protection Board should be given power like the Competition Commission of India. You know it very well. What is the Competition Commission of India? It's antitrust law body. Okay, so where they have Competition Commission of India has power, suo moto, taking cognizance of, if they find that there is in particular monopoly is going played in the market. So the author says that this Data Protection Board should also have this power, like going suo moto cognizance and all, because fighting the legal battle with the big data houses is not possible for a commoner. So the bill should safeguard these measures. Then one important article is in the editorial section is written by a professor of law at Delhi University, former professor of law at Delhi University, and B.B. Pandey. It's regarding an impasse in wrestler's case. It's regarding, you are aware of this case, impasse in wrestler's case, that on Jantar Mantar so much wrestlers protested, and finally Supreme Court ordered to file the FIR, and our Solicitor General also agreed that Delhi Police will file the FIR, which should have been automatically filed on its own, should have been filed by the Delhi Police, but it took Supreme Court's order to file the FIR, one including the POCSO also, that is the Protection of Children from Sexual Offence Act. So that was one of the charges. So it took Supreme Court's order. So it shows that how who is in this whole process of this impasse. What is impasse? Impasse means a situation, something like that has no solution visible. So in impasse in wrestler's case, because you know the person who is being accused of is also a powerful sports body politician, and he has, as you know, that he has got anticipatory bail also and regular bail and things like that. Even the POCSO Act was compromised by Delhi Police investigation. So this article questions the powers of Delhi, who will have the control over police, how they will regulate, how they will speed up a trial investigation of the process, how they will represent the facts and things like that. So ministerial control over. So whole process of this article is saying that this colonial codes, that CRPC, IPC, that are being brought, this colonial mode of law and order control is very much filled with full of errors and things like that. And so as you know that it was so much of demand that Indian Police Act should be amended and made it to be accountable to the people and things like that, friendly, and but still, so Delhi police role in filing of the FIRs and further investigation. These things, it says that whole scenario, the loser is the rule of law. The idea, the identity, its imminence. Now said that article says that we are constitutional democracy. Our holy book is the constitution. We shall abide by that rules and spirit of the constitution, basic structure of the constitutions. But what we find that now they are finding their essence in provenance and God and things like that. So these are the disturbing trends within the playing of the rule of law in our democracy. So it says that the three headings that he has given, the airing of complaints, so much of airing of, naturally the seriousness of the charges was so that without any delay of the things, it should have been FIR should have been filed on its own by police taking, but even magistrates did not give. It shows the poor reflection of judiciary also, that how much they are compromised, why they did not take the suo motu cognizance of the things that they have empowered been. Even a session court has a certain procedures where it can go through high courts and get magisterial inquiry and oversight over the police investigation. That is very much crucial for the handling of the cases and protection of the eyewitnesses. So these are the things. So first thing that says that airing of complaints, and that is the one that it took so much of that, and then and finally Supreme Court's intervention led to the filing of FIR. Then we have slothful, you know, the sloth, the laziest thing on the earth, whole life few meters walk. That is sloth is ultimate epitome of laziness. So it says slothful and selective investigation. Investigation is also compromised, selective, and nobody is there to have an oversight over its methodology and things like that. And finally it says that rule of law, course correction is very much needed, and things should move in that direction. Democracy can only survive if we have fair, transparent, equitable access to law. So that's the editorial page. Then we go for our popular section, text and context section. One more thing is that in the op-ed section there is a question answer format article on delimitation. You should be knowing that our Lok Sabha and our upper house parliamentary seats as well as legislative seats are being are based on the 1971 census. And it says that after 2026 only they will take into consideration fresh delimitation of, because you know the purpose of delimitation is that there should be a semblance of that number of persons who are voting for a person should have some balance. The problem is that why it is 1971 is still the marker of the seats that we have is a simple reason that very decadal gap population growth in South India and North Indian. So in that way, if it is being followed, then North Indian presence in the parliament will increase very much, and South Indian seats will go down. So to make a stability, they have decided that after 2026 we will go into details and look into when they expect that population growth will stabilize. So it's a good article, and it is being coordinated by its national editor Delhi, Burgess George. So please do read this article, and then we come our popular section, that is text and context. Here two articles are there. Here two articles are. One is on Russian military operations. What Putin calls it, special military operations. That's it's related with the Ukraine invasion of Russia, and recently in they had launched 6 weeks ago. Ukraine has launched a counter-offensive against Russian forces. You know that Russian forces are there on virtually more than 1,000 kilometers of fortification. Fortification means they have armored vehicles, jammers, you could say that mines are being placed in the area. Means very much they are in control of the area of this region. It's a battle of Black Sea. Basically, it's access to the Black Sea, and the whole attempt by Ukraine to destroy the Kerch Bridge it's a Crimean Strait Bridge. It's also known as Kerch Bridge. It's a new bridge. It's a 19-kilometer bridge that connects mainland Russia to Crimea. What is Crimea? Crimea was earlier part of Ukraine that was annexed by Russia in 2014. And after Crimea came into Russian control, they made this Kerch Bridge, that is a 4-lane highway rail cum road bridge, and it's a powerful link between mainland Russia and Crimea. So Ukrainian forces wanted to destroy this bridge. Earlier also they had attempted. In this recent incident, seaborne drones, airborne drones, seaborne drones were used. That were waterborne, seaborne drones were used to destroy a part of the bridge, a section of the bridge. Railway services were restored after 6 hours of the incident, and roads had heavy damage. It took time. So in retaliation, Russia also attacked its easternmost port city, Odessa, and they have cancelled a UN agreed use of Black Sea port for export of Ukrainian grains. That Russia had came out of that one agreement. Now they are saying that it will lead to starvation in Africa and things like that. But Russia has its own regions. When its vital lifeline is being attacked, it will take desperate measures to dethrone the counter-offensive measures with the assistance of Western forces, NATO and others. Even the Joe Biden has provided Ukraine, so Zelensky, to cluster munitions that is banned by 100 countries in the world. So fueled by Western weapons, Ukrainian forces attempted to reach the Sea of Azov, that is the access to the Black Sea, and thereby destroying the lifeline and structure of Russia. But it was not successful, and Russia was fully anticipating this move by Ukraine, and what they got was, after 6 weeks of counter-offensive, what they got was 200 kilometers or 20 something few kilometers of areas that are ghostly villages that were being left and bombarded and nobody lives. So those areas were, and for that also Ukrainian forces had lost 20% of the resources that were provided by, according to New York Times, provided by the Western forces. So it's a Kerch Bridge attack is significant because that is the lifeline. But Vladimir Putin had, after the taking control of Crimea in 2014, Vladimir Putin had ordered to make this bridge, and in 2018 he had inaugurated with great fanfare. So that was attack on that. It means heart of Putin's attack, and he will retaliate in desperate measures that the Ukraine and NATO forces and Western European countries have observed time and again. Now, another one important article that we are discussing is Elon Musk. You know that Elon Musk is a maverick, what we call him, a personality, maverick personality comes out, who is the owner of Tesla, Twitter, OpenAI, space programs, Neuralink, and other things like that. So he has come out his own version of AI, XAI. What it will do, it has brought in talents from all the great sources of artificial intelligence, that is Google, Microsoft, and other places. DeepMind scientists, professors have been assembled to create XAI of Elon Musk. That will look into, when asked about that, what it will do and what it will. There are number of AI startups going. You know it very well. ChatGPT is most successful one among that. So it's a large language model. AIs are coming out, lots of chatbots and things like that. So what will be the purpose of your XAI? And he said that it will look into the matter of universe, dark matter, expanding galaxies, and how life moves and formats and things like that. So it has very huge, larger objectives. Means you just imagine it has. You say now, Elon Musk's universe is the oyster. You could say universe is the oyster of Elon Musk. And for that he is investing lots of money, and people are expecting to have some futuristic result. Finally, I will conclude this article with a news from Gujarat. You know that Gujarat session courts are on running riots on giving decisions. Recently, Rahul Gandhi, the future is very much hanging in fire on a Supreme Court's decision regarding that criminal defamation case that has been convicted in a Sessions Court Gujarat. Right now it's related with Teesta Setalvad. She had filed a discharge plea in a Sessions Court, and which was rejected by the Sessions judge, and saying that the trial should start from this month itself. To the prosecution and defense, that trial should start immediately. Likewise, R.B. Sri Kumar, the former DGP of Gujarat, and along with Sanjeev Bhatt, the three people who were being charged under that they have given the forged documents, fabricated documents in 2002 Gujarat riots cases related to the Supreme Court and other tribunals and things like that. They have witnesses, signatures and all being fabricated. This is the charge. Whereas the defense for Teesta Setalvad has said that they are the parts of all the court documents. How could it be fabricated if they are in the part of the court documents and never her name came into existence? You should be little bit more knowing about Teesta Setalvad. Teesta Setalvad's grandfather was India's first Attorney General, M.C. Setalvad. Her great grandfather was the member of the Hunter Commission. Do you know what was the Hunter Commission? The Hunter Commission was commissioned after the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, that to look into the matters and question General Dyer. And there were three Indian members, advocates were there, three Indian origin advocates were there. One of them was the Teesta Setalvad's great grandfather, and they had, Lord Hunter was very much intolerant of going beyond consensus view on the things like that. But these advocates, these Indian representations had questioned very much General Dyer and emphasized things like that. Later on, his son became the M.C. Setalvad became the first Attorney General of independent India. Her father is also a very famous lawyer in Bombay High Court, activist lawyer who had protested emergency, Indira Gandhi's emergency. There were very few people with a spinal cord who protested Indira Gandhi during her peak in mid-70s. So Teesta Setalvad sometimes said that she is the daughter of the Constitution. And there are things, that how Supreme Court, when Gujarat High Court denied her a bail, Supreme Court gave an interim bail and finally a regular bail. And she has a sort of earlier she used to run an NGO and publish a magazine also, Communalism Combat. And so has the things in the wrong side of the establishment, and these things are there. But she is fighting it. So with that we conclude today's The Hindu edition. Hope you will enjoy it and try to give some feedback so that I can improve upon it more so for you to love it. Thank you very much.